Hey guys, it's Tamara. I'm back with another video. We're gonna go ahead and jump in and start on Monday talking about personality disorders, but we're gonna talk about something that we haven't talked about on this channel yet, and that's obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Thank you so much for being with me, guys. For those of you who have been subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are not subscribed, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button over here on the left side. That way you can stick around with me as we grow our channel. It is growing hourly and daily, and I'm so grateful to you guys for that. And I'm so thankful as well that we get a chance to communicate and talk on a channel where, you know, we grow and we learn, hence the term anchored in knowledge. So thank you so much for being with me. We're going to go ahead and just jump into obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Before we do that, I want to show you guys the benefits. The benefits for you today in this video is that you're going to learn about OCPD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder. You're also going to learn a little bit about treatments for it. And I want to point out some things from the International OCD Foundation. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump in. So what is obsessive compulsive personality disorder? Well, the way that I like to explain it to clients, patients, is that OCD or OCPD, I should say. I'm going to explain OCD, then I'm going to explain OCPD. But OCPD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, is just that. It's a personality disorder. It's characterized by many of the same symptoms as OCD. So OCD, as you know, some people call it the hand washing disorder. Some people call it the, the rigid, organized disorder. I've heard a lot of my clients say, you know what, I have the hand washing disorder, or I have the disorder where everything has to be so-so. OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, basically its foundation is anxiety. And the whole idea is that your brain has neurological changes, and you have a psychological and emotional way that you respond to those neurological changes in your brain. The foundation of it is always anxiety. You're always anxious that you're not going to have control of something. You're always anxious that you're not going to be able to help things go smoothly or turn out the way that maybe you wanted them to. For people who have the hand washing disorder, they have to be clean at all times, right? They have to have some hand sanitizer around. They have to make sure that everything is clean, right? Like if I had OCD, I wouldn't be able to have like this pen over here. I wouldn't be able to have this paper over here. I wouldn't be able to have like this can of V8 juice, right? And my keys are over here. Like, I would drive somebody with OCD absolutely crazy because I'm organized, but sometimes I can be scattered organized. Like, I have things over here, I have things here, I have things there, but I know where everything is. Somebody with OCD cannot do that, right? It drives them completely insane. What way do you think that they manage their symptoms? How do you think they manage their symptoms? A lot of people manage their symptoms by doing what the compulsion or the impulse that they feel, saying two things at once, wants them to do, right? The compulsion is to wash your hands. The compulsion is to totally clear off the desk and make it clean and shiny, dust-free. The impulse is, I have to do this now. I have to do this now, or I'm going to snap, right? The other way that they try to control symptoms is by controlling other people. Here's a bottle of hand sanitizer. Please wash your hands. Here's a bottle of bleach. Please wash your hands. Here, let me organize this for you. And a lot of people believe that it's behavioral, right? All you have to do is stop it. And it's not. It's neurological. Research suggests that there are a lot of changes in the brain, in the prefrontal cortex, and the temporal lobes, and the amygdala, and the limbic system, and the thalamus, the hypothalamus, right? Those areas kind of deal with our drives and our impulses. So research suggests that various parts of the brain have a lot to do with OCD, have a lot to do with an individual's impulse to clean, has a lot to do with the individual's compulsion to reduce their anxiety. So let me just define this a little bit for you. The obsession is the thought, okay? The obsession is the rumination, the continual thought pattern of what it is that you're obsessing about. I gotta wash my hands, I gotta wash my hands, I have to wash my hands, I have to wash my hands, right? Or I just wanna go over there and organize that bookshelf. I just wanna go over there and organize that bookshelf, right? That's the obsession. That's the rumination. That repeated pattern of circular thoughts, right? You're going around and around and around. The compulsion is the behavior, it's the act, it's the thing that you do to bring your obsession and your anxiety all the way down to a level where you can function more healthily, right? All right, so we understand all that. So we understand what OCD is, right? We see it all the time. We have pop psychology blowing it up, right? Putting things on television for us to enjoy to watch. But we also have loved ones who actually suffer from this disorder, and it can lead to lasting and real behavioral changes. And that's because the environment has to be altered so the person can feel comfortable. If the environment isn't altered, then the person is not functional. And that's why it's a disorder, right? It interferes with functionality socially. It interferes with your occupation or your education. And it also interferes with your daily life at home. All right, so that's OCD. Let's put that over there. That's OCD. Over here, we have obsessive compulsive personality disorder. And when you think of OCDP, I want you to be able to zone in on the P, right? Because the P is personality. And remember, and we talked about this over the past 2 weeks now, personality is a personality disorder. The personality part of that OCPD is a disorder. It's a part of a chronic, pervasive, long-standing pattern of behavior, right? It's genetic and it's environmentally motivated, but it's a personality. It's who you are, right? You can't medicate a personality. You can't change a personality. You are who you are. So OCPD is a personality disorder that's fixed, it's rigid, it's pervasive, it's chronic, and it's something that you're not going to be able to medicate. So when you think of OCD, think of the illness of having to keep things organized, having to keep things in order and clean, right? But when you put that P in there, the personality, that is what complicates matters, because you can't medicate a personality and you can't deal with the way that this person has always been. It's their personality. So the International OCD Foundation actually has a list, and I'm going to post the link in the description box below for you. It has a list of behaviors that someone with OCPD would do. So I'm going to read them off to you, okay? So there's excessive devotion to work, okay? There's this, I have to get to work, I have to get to work, I don't care if I have kids to raise, I have to get to work, these people are counting on me. And whether or not that's really true doesn't matter. What matters is the person's fixation and rigidity when it comes to that thought that I have to get to work. Excessive fixation on lists and rules, okay? Lists and rules, right? So I have a grocery list, I have to follow this list. If I don't follow this list, I'm gonna have to drive all the way back home, grab that list, drive all the way back to the grocery store, and make sure I follow it to a T. Okay, I actually had a client a couple years ago who I strongly believed had OCPD. Now, let me just tell you this, that about 1 in 100 individuals have OCPD. So it's not something that's really common, but I do strongly believe that my client had it years ago when I was working with adults, and he would literally write a grocery list, and then he would forget it, get to the grocery store, pull up, close the door, go in, grab a cart, and then he would be like, oh man, I forgot my list. What would he do? He'd put the cart back, and he would put it back perfectly too. Go out the store, get in his car, make sure everything is good in his car, put his seatbelt on, back up, drive appropriately, go all the way back home. And he lived an hour away from his home. He would shop an hour from his home, just because he would drop things off at his mom's house, and it was easier. It was his pattern, right? And so he was so excessive and rigid, and he had to be list and rule oriented, that he could not go grocery shopping without that list. Most of us can remember things, not him. Unwillingness to share responsibility if others aren't as good as you, right? So I'm going to do this because you're not as good as me. Extreme frugality. So I'm going to be frugal, but it's like really, really, really extreme, like really extreme. Hoarding is another symptom, okay? I do want to highlight that people with OCPD do have insight. They know what's wrong, but they don't know how to fix it. They know what's wrong, but they don't know how to fix it, and that's what keeps them emotionally and psychologically entrapped by their disorder. They also have a imposed set of rules every time they do something, right? They have a self-imposed set of rules. It is terrifying for a lot of families to sit back and watch this. So what's the treatment? And I want to make sure we are good on time. We're going to wrap up in a little bit here because I don't want to get to 11 minutes. So let me just go through really briefly what the treatment is. One is medication. The type of medication would be antidepressants or SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, antidepressants. Other treatment would be counseling, right? So helping them, kind of expand their knowledge of who they are. And then the last thing is relaxation to bring down those urges and impulses and compulsions. Treatment is difficult, once again, guys, with personality disorders. Thank you so much for being with me, guys. Let's go ahead and end. Let's make sure our videos are short this week. I did want to make sure that they were comprehensive. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stick around with us. In the meantime, guys, I will be here preparing our next video for Friday. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.